Hello everyone. This is my 2023 Yamaha YZF R6 Race. And just to recap, in 2020 that was the last model year of the R6, at least for the street legal version. And then they made two track versions. One's the GYTR, which had a lot of bells and whistles and was much more expensive than the original street version. And then they made this one. This is the R6 Race. And I believe that this one just was in the production line and they kind of stopped short of adding some things that would make it street legal. One was the headlights and headlight bracket, the horn, turn signals and mirrors. It didn't come with the rear seat cowl. I got that later. It says R1, which I think is actually kind of cool. The fender, so I didn't have to worry about the fender eliminator or license plate bracket. Turn signals back here. Passenger foot pegs, and I think that's it. It still has a VIN number. I still registered it. I'm sorry, I could not register it, but it still has a title and a VIN number. Can't register it unless I try to make it street legal. I was considering going that route, but I just wanted a good track bike. So I did my first track day on this R6 and just changed a few things. One was the steering damper. I had to add that on there. I recommend a steering damper for anybody who owns a sport bike, pretty much, because you're going to go fast at some point, and that, my friends, worth its weight in gold. So that had to get on there. I also got some levers and some rear sets, and that's it. I went out, did a track day, everything worked great. This is a track weapon like they say it is. I just wanted to see how it performed before I started to kind of make performance mods. One thing I noticed was when you're getting on that throttle and it's in its highest performance setting, of course, yeah, you get that initial burst of speed and thrust, you could just feel it, but it kind of flattens out. To me, it almost feels like a weird turbo lag, but you never get the full whack of the throttle in comparison to what you get down low. So I was initially gonna go with the Rapid Bike fuel management system, which I had one in my 2017 BMW S1000 RR, which I totally loved. But as I did more research, I understood that that only enhances what's coming out of the ECU already. So I sent it off to More Mafia and got my ECU flashed. I went ahead and put in a Sprint air filter. And I have this open because I have a full Akrapovic exhaust system that I'm going to put on. This is the original header pipes, and man, this thing's heavy. I recommend, if you do this, to take it out with those O2 sensors. All you have to do is unclip it versus trying to unscrew those things while it's underneath the bike. So there's my Akrapovic in there. I also have, sorry about the mess in my garage, it's all cluttered, but that's how I roll. Some stuff over there. I also took out the servo, which sits in a tray down there. I also have the battery out. I'm gonna put a lithium battery in here. I left this bracket in. Some people say you have to take this bracket out to take out the servo motor, but you can fish it out through here. You have enough space through there. Also, Sprint air filter I put in there. And so we'll see how it looks with everything on. Okay, so I just kind of wanted to give you guys a look at what I'm going to be installing on the bike. So Akrapovic muffler, That's titanium. I didn't go with the titanium headers and mid-pipe because it only saves like about a kilo, but you get the same performance. So I live in America, so that's just a couple of trips, you know, to the fast food restaurant for me. DB killer, we won't be needing that, so that's going in the bucket. Again, there's my ECU I got back from More Mafia. Can't wait to get that in. A little bit of instructions of how to, I guess, first start your motorcycle once you get that in, and the show ride battery. And I'm gonna do an oil change while I'm in there, but I'll show you what it looks like. All right, here's a look at the specs on my ECU flash. You can pause it if you like. All right, y'all. Making progress with this full exhaust system. And I just wanted to show it before I cover it with the fairings. Some call it Akrapovic, others call it Akrapovic. I call it gorgeous. Almost there. Almost there. All right, guys. My 2023 Yamaha YZF R6 Race with the full Akrapovic exhaust system. Hard to beat. Man, my ears actually hurt. All right, guys. See you down the road.